Hi everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. I'm going to do what many of you are probably thinking about doing, many of you have probably already done, and that is a quick little unhaul. Being in quarantine, I have been staring at my bookshelf straight for months now. When I started quarantine, I was so good about like cleaning. I'm sure everybody else was too, because you're like, all right, well this is the perfect excuse for me to get stuff done. I did that, and then I've been living and working in the same spot for months. Things kind of got back out of hand, and now I'm ready to like kickstart another project, which is this quick little unhaul. I took a look at my shelves, and honestly, the main reason for getting rid of some of these books is just that I don't think I'm going to get to these. I really don't think I'm going to read them. If I haven't been reaching for them, I don't see it happening. The first thing that I have to unhaul are a number of middle grade books, but these ones are just not inspiring me the way that they were when I picked them up. And middle grade does also tend to be the age range that I don't reach for the most. So the first one, this was from a book outlet haul. That's also a good thing to unhaul, is if you'd been stocking up on book outlet but knowing that you were just doing that to get to the free shipping price but not really a book that you're going to read, you should unhaul that book right now. So one of those was Where the Woods End, and it is written by Charlotte Salter. This book kept popping in and out of my life. I kept thinking I was going to get to it, and I just really am not. This is The Dollmaker of Krakow, written by R.M. Romero. This was a book that I actually spun on my Wheel of TBR. This is The Wizards of Once, written by Cressida Cowell. I have had some of you tell me that this is a pretty decent middle grade series, but I'm just never been in the mood to pick this one up since I spun it on the Wheel of TBR, so that should probably tell me something as well. And this one I was very excited about when I first got it, but as it's been sitting on my shelf, I completely forgot that it was there. So this is The Keeper of the Lost Cities, book number 1 by Shannon Messenger. And then I did pick up book number 2. This is Exile. So I got both of these, I think through Book Outlet or through Half Price Books, but I don't remember. So that's gonna go back to the used bookstore. All right, this book, you might be surprised to see me unhauling, because I actually did really enjoy this book. This is Mr. Mercedes, written by Stephen King. And the only reason why I'm unhauling this is because I thought I had already unhauled it. If you remember from my birthday book haul, I purchased the entire trilogy from the used bookstore in hardcover. So there's no need for me to have 2 of the same book when now I have the whole trilogy in hardcover. And I was planning on getting rid of this anyway. Just surprised that I didn't yet at this point. But this is a good read, 4 out of 5 stars. Another book that I'm getting rid of purely because of the edition, like the edition that it's in, is Children of Earth and Sky, written by Guy Gavriel Kay. I do want to read this book, but I would like it to match my copy of Tigana, which is another standalone fantasy novel written by the same author. Yeah, I just want them to match. So that's really it. So I do plan on purchasing a different edition of this book. This has been an author that I've been seeing pop up more and more. Yeah, so this is a book that I definitely want back on my shelf, just not in this edition. Okay, this is a romance book. This was actually gifted to me by my in-laws, but I don't read romance. I read the synopsis of this, I read some reviews of this, and I don't see myself reading this book at all. It would take a pretty special romance book, and it would take a very specific mood for me to even consider picking something like this up. So that's why I'm gonna get rid of it for sure. I read the synopsis. This is like literally nothing that I would ever read. I did ask my husband, like, would you be upset and offended if I got rid of this book? And he looked at me and he said, well, are you gonna read it? I was like, no. So I got his permission to unhaul this book. I'll give you the synopsis if you haven't read this one. This is about a young woman who is having fertility issues. Then she meets a man and, you know, tries to build a relationship around these fertility issues, which sounds all good and well, but the reviews that I read just indicate that it wasn't well done, and I'm not interested in it. And then this, I really hate like trashing on books, but I felt like really gross to like put that book down, but I didn't want it. And then Onyx and Ivory, written by Mindy Arnett. This was purely a book outlet haul book. and I forgot that it was even on my shelves. And when I saw it, when I was going through my shelves trying to like figure out what could you get rid of at this point, this ended up coming up on the chopping block pretty easily. I just grabbed it and I was like, don't have any interest in it, so that makes it pretty easy to unhaul. Some dragons, she's a traitor to her kingdom. Oh, there's a love story, son of a king. Okay, yeah, I feel like I've read this story before then. Okay, these next two books are books that I could easily be talked back into. So that's convenient that we're all still under quarantine and can't actually get these books out of our houses yet. The first one is The Book of M, written by Peng Shepherd. I picked up this book because this had come up quite a bit on some BookTube SFF lists when it was in the year that it could have been nominated. This is a science fiction novel, so that's particularly the reason why I don't grab for it, is because science fiction does tend to be the lesser of the two main genres that I have on my shelf that I will reach for. It's like a near future world sci-fi situation. It says the first one afternoon at an outdoor market in India, a man's shadow disappears, an occurrence that science cannot explain. He is only the first. The phenomenon spreads like a plague. And while those afflicted gain a strange new power, the magic comes at a horrible price, the loss of all their memories. Yeah, I could really be talked back into this one. So if any of you have like read this, let me know what you thought of it. And this one could very well find its way back on my shelf. And then the final book I could be talked back into. And the only reason why it got on the chopping block at all is because I didn't think I would get to this one anytime soon. So this is The Queens of Innis Lear, written by Tessa Gratton. This is like a gender-bent retelling of King Lear, written by Shakespeare, where we have King Lear's daughters in control of the storyline. But I have heard it's very, very slow, and since I've been super slumpy, I didn't want to keep slow books on my shelf if it was just gonna like take up space and me not get to it in a decent amount of time. But I could very much be talked back into this one. As a matter of fact, I might have just talked myself back into putting it on my shelf. I don't know yet. So this one is like to be determined. But if you have any strong feelings one way or another about Queens of Innis Lear, let me know, and I might keep this one. This one could be saved. All right, so that was my quarantine unhaul thus far. I might get into another mood and just like start going crazy and unhauling a lot more books, but you never know, because we'll see how long this quarantine lasts. I have only purchased a few books. Just, I had a weakness this week and I ended up purchasing 3. So maybe I purchased more during quarantine than I thought I did. I don't know. So you can probably expect a quarantine haul sometime soon. Give me a thumbs up if you would like to see that. Otherwise, you can follow me on my social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. It's @whatcassread, the same as this channel, so it should be super easy for you to find. My Goodreads link, that one is listed down below. And then, of course, you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.